Hello everyone, welcome to The Light Renegades. My name is Starr and today I have another message for you from Brittany Murphy, and today's is the one that I've been waiting for, I think everyone. And Brit speaks about her house, and when I first started to channel Brittany Murphy, I did some research, some basic research and all the things that I could find out about her, and this idea of her house just kept coming through and how much she disliked her house. And it was no surprise to me, although I was completely baffled to find out that Madonna had actually built this house, and then Britney Spears had brought this house off of Madonna, and then Brittany Murphy straight off of Britney Spears. And just the connection in that line of these strong women being in a house that sounds like it was just a hot spot for negative energy and some quite chaotic activity as well that Brit goes into in this video. So just be aware that today's is a pretty heavy hitting message, everyone. There isn't anything too graphic, but there's a lot of sadness that comes through Brit today, and she didn't have much to say after me channeling this message. And she says that she's okay. I just checked in with her after, and she wants to be sharing her story, but of course this brings up a lot of emotion that she was feeling at the time. And she has healed, she does mention this, but of course, this is like any of us really reliving, painful things from the past. We heal, but there is still, sometimes that memory of the pain that we had at the time. So just be aware of that, everyone. But today's message from Brit was titled My House, and she started with, "Hello, light ones. Today I wish to share about my journey, where I found myself towards the end of my life. I've come to terms with all that had played out in my last incarnation. I've made peace, I have moved forward. That's not to say to look back somewhere it doesn't still sting. But today, I wish to speak about my house, the vibrations, and what was really going on. My house was cursed. It was created to be a trap. For some, those that know my house was first handled by Britney Spears. I don't know what made me say yes to moving in. Simon loved the house, as did my mom. But I always felt like there was something within it that shouldn't be there. I had always been able to tap in using my intuition, but the house was something else. I never felt safe. I felt like someone was always watching, like they could hurt me in the house. No matter what I did, I didn't feel safe. Now that I'm here and I know what I do, magic was placed upon that house. The poor souls that created this web of negativity and darkness to hold on to their status and power. I do not think that this was due to Britney. She is another soul lost and trapped in the system. Her handlers, however, yes. Some they are watched over so closely that they cannot escape. I know that this house had magic. I know this house held portals, spaces of energies of this world that I wish I didn't truly know about. There are some things that a human shouldn't see, I feel. I saw them. My dreams were chaos. I felt like chaos, and I just didn't feel safe. I began to hoard. I filled the rooms up with piles upon piles of stuff, clutter, so that I didn't feel so empty, so that the rooms didn't feel so stuck and stagnant. The air lingered in that house. It screamed. It wasn't silent. There was nothing of peace. I know that sacrifice had happened in that house too. They each take it in turns to sacrifice something to their false energies and gods. Some are unaware of what this truly means, the feeding of the negative reptilian race. Others have fell under the spell of believing themselves to be of a higher nature that is unholy or dark in some way, and choosing to take this path no matter the consequence. Although the lines and edges blur across the board, the hive mind is so strong. Some don't know that they've just been swept up in a whole realm that just feels like it is a dark path and is for them. I wish I'd never moved into that house. It became the end of me. I got so sick. I know now that those that didn't want me to succeed or even live anymore had a greater access to me and my energy because of that house. The bathroom was the only place I felt safe and at peace. I'd often go in and just sit in there holding myself. And this is where I could sense the other and feel better for a short time. This is where I saw the images of the angels in my mind, and I felt the peace, that peace that I've been seeking my whole life. But I know that this meant that this was the end for me. The end was near. And I think by this time, I was okay with that. I was ready. I knew I couldn't win. And I was just ready to let it all slip away. I didn't want to carry on like I was, but I felt it too long of a journey to bring myself back. I had my husband attached to me, my mother attached to me. Though I loved them dearly, it was toxic and my downfall. I couldn't hold them all, yet I tried. I wish I'd just taken myself away, but it was so consuming. You become addicted to the thickness and you feel stuck. It makes you feel stuck like you cannot breathe or move. I wanted to run, but I felt like I couldn't. I felt like I was stuck, like I was decaying from the inside out. I should have just moved, but I didn't. Something kept me stuck. You don't realize until it's too late that the energies have taken you over. You begin to not feel anything. You feel numb. You feel empty. You feel nothing but wanting it all to go away. And that's where I was. I wanted it all to end. I was so sick. I just wanted to go. So when that day came, I was happy. I was ready. I knew it was my time. I felt safe to leave. And I just knew in my heart that it was my time. It's 18:18 on my clock, and that feels significant for someone. And I think why this message felt so heavy, at least for me today, channeling this energy, was that, I know I've been sat in this energy, and specifically when I was sat in all of that darkness, and you can go and start the darkness series. There's been 2 videos so far. But this energy just feels, like it's taken over everything. And it is like it's hard to describe. And, most of you out here will have experienced this energy, but it's like a static. You feel completely stuck in this energy, like you cannot move, like you cannot breathe. And, I know that Brit was so sick towards the end of her life. She had, a lot of illness. Her whole body was just decaying from the inside out, like she says. And, it brings me the most sadness to know that this was not because, of anything that was to do with her outside of this house. It's moving into this house that made her ill, that made her, suffer like she did towards the end. And, there was such sadness for me surrounding all of her story. And, this bright soul just completely crumpled by the system. And, this idea of not feeling like you can leave. And I think that is so strong within a lot of us in this collective right now. I think there are certain spaces, certain situations where we feel tied to this darkness, where we feel like we can't step away. And, I know that I've been there time and time again on my journey. And now looking back, I can see where I was just consumed by this negative frequency that gets pumped into our, planet. And I was just feeling that the entirety of my life. And even being so young, I was tapping into those energies, those, darker aspects of life, and just feeling like I couldn't break free. And this accumulated to a whole manner of things that I put myself through, that I allowed to just take over my life. And I had a very dark upbringing. I had a very dark early upsetting I guess surroundings when I was quite young. And I didn't go through some things that were completely horrific, but just the parameters of where I found myself, I did feel stuck. I did feel like I was in a toxic environment. I would say that I lived in a toxic household, and felt like I was holding the energies of these 2 people that didn't know how to hold themselves in a high vibration. And I was taking the weight of that for years. I know I was consuming that, taking the weight of that, and just trying to get by. And it wasn't until I started to really understand my own energy, really understand what I was here to do, that I could take a look back and, to take a step back and to see where all of this was coming from. And, I wish that Brit had someone there to just pull her out of these energies and to give her space, to give her the room to heal, and, to perhaps looking at her, past and why she might have found herself in the situation where she felt like she had to hold her husband and had to hold her mother. And, I think there is many of you on this journey that can perhaps take a look around and have this be, a story of reckoning. Have this story be something that allows you to perhaps see these negative and toxic situations you might find yourself in, and how to break free from that. or, you know, finding those spaces of healing so you can all heal together. And, you know, people hold toxic energies. Does not mean that this person is toxic. And, you know, I have managed to shift a lot of the energies surrounding my parents, you know, those around me that have been of a negative vibration to me, and I'm so grateful for that. But it does take you stepping away, pulling away from that energy, coming back to your own energy to fully be standing in your power. And I can feel from Brit, you know, she looks back and she thinks, if only I'd moved away, if only I'd gotten out of that house, if only, you know, I'd reached out to other people. I feel like she kept herself quite isolated, and, you know, I think that's because she just didn't feel safe, and there was a lot of people out to get her. You know, she says that people didn't want her alive anymore, and I can't imagine, I've got goosebumps all over me, I'm just running cold. I can't imagine what that feels like, to feel like people don't want you to live anymore. And knowing that to be the truth, and knowing that there are people out here using magic and all manner of things against you. And she mentions portals, which I find really interesting, and I've definitely experienced portals this journey, and that of a darker nature. And when I speak about the darkness video, there was definitely a portal that opened up in my time in that space. And, you know, I'm thinking back to how I felt in that energy, and I felt completely out of my depth. I felt really unsafe. I felt like, yeah, like anything could just come and take me and grab me and kill me. And honestly, that is how I felt. And I'm starting to see that, you know, I was perhaps put in that situation too, so that I could understand how Brit felt at that time in this house. And yeah, this energy of just this darkness just being all consuming and around you. And, you know, we are still experiencing this negative reptilian order are pumping in energies for us to feel chaotic, for us to feel out of alignment, out of our power. So remember to step out of that energy, everyone, if you're feeling it. And, you know, this happens to me every so often, and I really have to really pull myself out of this energy. You know, luckily for me, I have brilliant souls around me that can hold me in that space. Anna Maria especially, you know, the other light renegade that works with us on this channel, and she really can see where I get stuck sometimes, and, you know, she has to pull me back and say, you're not quite in alignment, there is something happening, you know, because I am delving into these darker spaces, these negative aspects. So, you know, we all do need community, we all do need, you know, there's other souls around us to, you know, be that voice of reason, to be that you know, that second opinion. And I always do, you know, get a second opinion when I'm doing big things. I like to call in other people of expanse that I know and say, hey, I'm feeling this, like I'm feeling like this is going on, like how do you feel around this too? And I want to say that that's okay, you know, no matter where you are in your journey, you're not above psychic attack, I think is what I want to share, because I feel like there might be some people that do hold space that watch this in the future that, you know, are a very high vibration and, you know, do tap into these realms, but no one is free from, you know, being attacked at this time. I feel like there is just moments in our journey where the energy is just aligning. All it takes is a fraction. All it takes is a second. And I've experienced this in the galactic realms, you know, where I was physically touched by other things trying to take my soul out of my body, trying to take me from this realm. And, you know, my teams of light, I trust them implicitly, but they say, you know, we're sorry, but it happened. You know, they are so strong, but there is just too much happening at this time for it not to be, you know, mistakes that happen, glitches in the matrix, you know, these ideas that this negative reptilian order, that they're so powerful. And, you know, these negative grays too, the manipulation tactics are so strong. So know that it's okay if you feel like you fell victim to this at some time, or if you feel like you are still battling these energies. They are strong. Call upon your teams of light, call out to be working with us light renegades on a more personal basis, and we can help, you know, you differentiate this energy that surrounds you. Because I think a lot of you might be still stuck in the thick, in the smog, in this darkness, and you have to break free. You have to say no, you have to step away, you have to pull yourself away. It's a clawing away of these energies, because it is so strong. And I say this from, you know, the most utmost amount of personal experience in these energies, everyone. It just comes in so slowly, like a weighted blanket, and you feel like you cannot break free, but you have to. You must say no, and you must learn to listen to that other voice. There is always another voice that is telling you, you know, to step away, to break away. And this might look like you doing some very chaotic things to other people. You know, I definitely felt like I had to snap away from relationships, and, you know, I feel like there were some people on the peripheral that didn't understand it at the time, but now I've explained, you know, the whole situations to them. They understand it. They can see why I perhaps acted chaotically at that time, and, you know, pulled away from everything, from those people that I do love, you know, because I was like, I cannot sit in this energy anymore because it is toxic to my system. So if you feel in that space, this is your confirmation. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to say, I cannot deal with this any longer, and do something about it. Don't just sit and suffer, please. And we are here. Reach out to any of us Light Renegades. You can email us. The email is in the description below, and my personal email as well if you feel called to be working with me specifically. But this message is loud and clear today. Do not sit, do not stagnate, do not let these negative energies over consume you, everyone, because you deserve to be feeling that light. And it comes back to that self-worth. You are worthy. Remember this, everyone. But I think that's enough today. I'm sorry that this has gone on to be a little bit of a rant, but I'm really feeling like some of you really just need this to be drilled into you. I feel like this is going to be a message to shake you up, to wake your system up, and remind you that you are worthy of this light and to be stepping forward in your most highest vibration, everyone. But that's all that I'm going to share today. And, you know, so much love from me to you. And please do take care out here. It is a chaotic time right now, and we are always here. Never forget it, everyone. But take care for now.